Senator Barrasso.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Arjun, again, congratulations on your nomination. As you know, Social Security is critical to everyone in the country, and specifically Wyoming's aging population. As I travel the state, I hear from seniors who depend upon the program. They paid into it their entire working life. They've earned the benefits, and I believe they deserve timely, reliable service. Over the years, this committee has heard a lot of promises from previous administrations about technology modernization at Social Security. Online portals, digital systems, that's all fine, but not every community is the same, and not everybody's ability to have computers or use computers is the same in an aging population. Too often, Washington has pushed a one-size-fits-all solution. It doesn't work for every beneficiary. So for many of our seniors in rural areas, a call-up, in-person visit, all of those things from a field office are going to make much more difference for people. The ranking member in his home state of Oregon had a client, a constituent yesterday who called and was on hold a long time. We've had issues like that as well. That's a big concern because a lot of times past efforts have failed because people don't really see what is needed by folks at home that are the users. So if confirmed, how are you going to ensure that ongoing modernization efforts don't really leave the rural communities behind? And that's an issue from a bipartisan standpoint that we need to make sure rural areas are taken care of.
Thank you, Senator, for the question. A foundational pillar here is premier customer service, and in whatever channel the customer wants to be served, whether it's in person, whether it's on the phone, or whether it's online. For rural communities specifically, and those that may lack broadband access or the online channel may not be available, we want to equip our workforce with the best processes and systems in place. So when a beneficiary or a constituent walks into an office, they're serviced quickly, and they're serviced we're able to close out their case on the spot. So we've already made improvements. This is a holistic approach, right? When you take a certain set of people out of the phone systems and allow them to service themselves online, there's more room on the phones for people to get their calls answered timely. We were at a peak last year during the Biden administration of about an hour call wait on average to talk to somebody. We're down to about 7 minutes. Now that's a macro number. I'm going to dive into state level data as well, take inputs from congressional delegations from the people in the state and from our state level dashboards, and make sure that at the state level we're appropriately servicing every community.
Thank you. Dr. Callahan, I want to talk about beef imports from Argentina. In less than a year, President Trump has made tremendous progress in securing wins for American cattlemen. He's achieved unprecedented market access for our beef producers in regard to Australia, Malaysia, and the United Kingdom. He's now opening millions of new acres of federal lands for grazing, and I applaud all these efforts. In the last few weeks, we've heard from ranchers, as you can imagine, in Wyoming, but all across the country, who are concerned about a sudden increase in beef imports and an announcement related to Argentina. Wyoming ranchers produce the safest, the best quality beef in the world. Cattle is also Wyoming's #1 cash crop. So in my home state of Wyoming, cattle outnumber people by more than 2 to 1. Ranchers are the lifeblood of so many communities all across the West, across the country, and certainly here in my home state of Wyoming. What assurances can you provide us that Argentine beef imports won't undercut prices for American ranchers?
Thank you for raising this important issue, Senator Barrasso. I can affirm that our efforts in all of our negotiations for across the globe, the agreements on reciprocal trade, are intended to reverse the U.S. agricultural trade deficit. We went from a $6 billion agricultural trade surplus 4 years ago to a $34 billion agricultural trade deficit last year. For beef in particular, I and colleagues are negotiating for increased and expanded beef market access with our trading partners across the board. With Argentina, as I mentioned, this negotiation is ongoing. My intention and the intention of all of our art negotiations is to ensure that our agricultural trade deficits turn into surpluses and that U.S. cattlemen have access to markets around the world. Thank you.
In terms of the time frame of these 80,000 tons, what's your time frame that you expect those to enter the U.S. and could that, what do you see that happening? And then I know I'm running low on time. I was going to ask you about the American sheep industry.
Thank you. Our negotiation with Argentina is ongoing, so unfortunately, I don't have a very specific timeline for that.
And then with regard, how concerned are you about the long-term future for America's sheep industry, which is suffering a number of setbacks based on international imports into our nation?
The challenges faced by U.S. sheep producers is top of mind. In fact, this summer, I visited with stakeholders in the state of Utah, heard their firsthand stories. We have farmers, second and third generation farmers, that are at risk of losing their ranches, and if confirmed, I am committed to ensuring that American lamb producers have a fair shake and compete for the domestic market. They're being outcompeted by imports. We want to see that reversed as well.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, as a doctor, I'm going to want to submit additional questions to those related to HHS, if that's fine with you, for the record.
Certainly.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.